good, let's begin. We're starting recording. Welcome to the Longplay. And I'm going to be doing over weekends in Japan. Let's just make sure I do the setting thing. Oh wait, I can't skip this. I gotta watch this again. Well, let's,
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation
Soba
brought great
udon.
waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation.
Far Eastern Island Nation.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Well, either way. Longplay Part 1. Shot to the heart.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
I'll do my best to read it all out. From the beginning this time. Bienvenue à la caravelle. The adventure of the great departure. We're just gonna... Okay, that's saved. Good. Still can't believe it. I still can't believe that. Can we not look at... I'll try it again. How can it just be beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber? Is the highest court in Japan waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. Imperial Yume is dreams, so... 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given the verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. No, I want to change the settings when you are loading. Yeah, we loaded it. And yet, I still seem to know better than how a court... seem to know better than you on how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this, I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Ah. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor, murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? So, professor died, huh? Yeah, Imperial Nightmare. Of course not, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up and hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering. There's that text skip. The wait time. It's not that impressive. The very concept of a lawyer is only a few years old here in Japan anyways. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Flashback time. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring that change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire, I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's cities of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea, after all. It's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but I never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. At least I got the bowing right. The bowing looks kind of like legit how people bow in Japan. Minor difference though, but I mean, if yours feels more soft. Oh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Ah, yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba, professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if I should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Ooh, never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected. You were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand, why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants from overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But, then what should I do? Well, naturally I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do. But, what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our Surreptitious. This word. Surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in advocating for the likes of you anyway. Wow, bias. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on the unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Courtroom 2. Judicature. Courtroom 2. Why is there fucking wind? So this is a courtroom. How is that thing? Supreme Court of Judicature. You know, I want to learn how to pronounce this. Give me 1 second. I want. Judicature. Judicature.
Judicature.
Judicature. I like that. Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now. You need to concentrate, Orionosuke. It's about to begin. Sorry, it was the same guy. Give me 1 second. It's the same lawyer. The court will now hear the trial of Orionosuke Naruhodo. Sorry. I wasn't ready for the same face, man. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. 1 second. Take it like a champ. Oh, you take it like a bitch. Just kidding. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who is going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? You know, I'm gonna wait and see. Kazuma's a lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I said I do, it would be a tantamount of lying. And I've been accused of murder, for goodness sake. This is no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting. It's distracting. But if I do say I'll defend myself now, things could end very bad for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Yes! What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotama told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. Oh, I get it. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotama shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Pull the power move of the century. Well, very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. You stupid idiot. Well, well, does this accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Objection! Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Look at his eyes, it's twitching, man. Isn't it, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Humph, well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed. Are you in no doubt aware that this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan? Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. We're just gonna save one more quick time, because we know how much I've trapped myself in a save hell. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. Hey, but I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I'm pressing R. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. List of everything you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Yujin Mikotama. Taketsuchi Auchi. John H. Wilson. The victim in this case, he was visiting a professor of medicine. Interesting, he was visiting Yujin. Remember, everything they do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now then, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
Yes! Alright! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England and invited by Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And most of you will be aware we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. Case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes a speedy resolution to this matter. Huh. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. I'm gonna say he shot himself. I don't think so. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for his crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it not? Exactly, our government needs to convince someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson is an Englishman. But nationalities and treatings won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. If he shot himself, the blame wouldn't have fell on Ryunosuke, though, because he's not holding the gun. He wouldn't be holding the gun in that case, and he would be too shocked to pick it up. Wait. Oh, he's at another table. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's visiting a professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did the Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. And a bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That's huge. The cause of death, well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke, remember that in the court, every assertion must be backed by evidence. By evidence, but how? Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
Yes! Well, according to this document, you only have one document. Why do you have, like, suffered from a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma? Learn to read, you imbecile. That's a post-mortem report. I take it? Sorry? Yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, that's huge! As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is so-called a photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. Oh yeah, we're in old times. This gunshot would have just been a straight-up gunshot, but because it's so close, you would see the powder. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Count. You know, Derpy, we're gonna keep your theory where he shot himself. Actually, we're gonna hold on to that because he could shoot himself at close range if that's the case. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record, although I think someone else shot it. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to our drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. I like that. I want to do that every time I sit down. Without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, The prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. Humph, I think that I may have worked on what the professor had in mind. Professor? You mean Dr. Mikotapa? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. How does the headband still have motion? Oh, okay. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter of Western-style restaurant called the Carnival. Oh, shit! Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. This guy's sus, man. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty introductions from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Perspiring, and maybe, but aspiring. It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We had a few diners at the time of day. Lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits well with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. Ahem, ahem. Oh my god! It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away the crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Objection! I believe I ask you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you'll be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Runosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Yeah, part of court, man. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. He hadn't even eaten a steak yet. Okay. Remember to always get checked for any and all unusual spouts of blood. That's what I was kind of looking for, a blood stain of some sort in the background. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Rinosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite to him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but I still... What should I do? This is a lot less foggy on how courts are supposed to go. I think we should wait and see, because we would get in shit if we interjected. We'll have the cross-examination later. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. But it's okay. If your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never got to UMA University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it. Yes. Just a moment. Yes has no context. It's like, hi, Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. Oh, I get it. So, I get why they're saying yes. It's just bad meaning translation. So, when someone wants to bring something to their attention, typically in one of my classes, you hear kids go, hi, hi, hi. You know, this is kind of like the, I see something wrong, or like, I want to speak up. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Objection! Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? Oh, this guy is Shiro incarnate, man. Shout out to Shiro, the Lord Shiro. Please follow him on Twitch. With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is a real lawyer after all? I'm sure what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. We have a steak there with a shred of wine. Yo, what's this? We got a magnifying glass? I don't believe it. Ahem. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. We're going to take a look at that. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. So, the court has now heard the précis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Would it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? He's looking at him like, really, dude, you just thought that? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it. So has the judge and prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe in you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet. What do you want to say? The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Yo, I'm loving like the 3D CG scenes here, man. Yeah, the business card, I think it's not... I think the business card, if we flipped it over, we're getting something interesting. As for the kanji, I don't know what the two left kanjis mean. I do know that the bottom left kanji is like Itaguchi, which means entrance. Oh, I guess the two kanji on the left must mean kitchen. But it's different from the one I studied, so maybe there's more than one word for kitchen in a different context. Indeed. Prosecutor Achi, please continue with proceedings. Tisk, well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. Prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh, we have two witnesses at the same time. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Oh, this guy looks German. Yes, sir, the Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant... Oh, no, he's actually Japanese. By the camera angle, we would have had... He saw it from the right, so we would have to be... I can't click. But, if you number it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're in table 3. And he saw the table that way. Everything matters on where he sits. Yes, sir, the Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant, yes, sir, no, sir, reporting for duty, sir. Also, he's facing away from the table, which means that we have a big conflict already. Why is he away from the table? The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant, yes, sir, no, sir, reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ such a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the affluence of our nation, Nippon. Nippon means Japan, by the way. And conduct for my trade of Rasatea humble premises in the 2nd District, Curio Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post noon, so afternoon. And not infrequently converse with an interested parties regarding the curious of which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He addressed someone as they completely seated away from the table. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at the carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques, and he tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets the Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Smart. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be the seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of his most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit has seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. It was a black uniformed rogue infantryman over there unloaded his firearms, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost serious. Strange, you know. I heard a strange noise the last thing he said. So, this is the... Wait, there was something that did sound weird. The decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment in which you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. What the hell is that noise? Unsavory memories of the most acerbic afternoon. What the witness saw. I was ingesting a regulation regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a technical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. What is that noise? The black uniformed varsity cutout fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. Wait. I was on my hands and knees investigating whereabouts of my mysterious, absconded precious curio. Well, so you Sergeant Noza actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second where the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. I want to press on why he was on his hands and knees. Yes. This noise. Affirmative that a wicked university cadets are the cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed on the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Runosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, pop, with another gun. It's two guns. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Odunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine. Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. Time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony of the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare that the verdict of this trial... Yes. Hi! It's just so awkward, I love it. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I am, the defense demands the right to a cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess. The Hachimiki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh. How did he know? Prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defense obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting his right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Gulp. Katsuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defendant conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right. Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence to prove the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. He's so awkward, I love it. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of particularly fine golden courier of the military gentleman. At the precise moment a firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. We're gonna press on that. So, you're saying that you actually saw me at the time? Affirmative, I saw you. Laughing, cackling like a madman, you trained barely a gun on the English civilian. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked at the victim's table. Thank you! And so, what if it was? That's already... Ooh. So he didn't see the precise moment. You just admitted to lying. Right there. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment in which the killer actually fired the gun. Double R. My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger, I picked it up on the waves of the murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking at you, Cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have gone where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem that the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back. We fired from the front, my boy.
Yes.
Oh, what about it? What? What are you playing at, Cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Trusting someone's photographic print in my mustache. And consistency, sir. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yeah. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the word just won't come out of my mouth. His knees weak, arms spaghetti, his vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But it keeps on spaghetting. I think this proves beyond any other doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. I couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma. What? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iasanosa. Yes, sir? What, sir? The statement you made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
Yes! But no, that just can't be. And why not, Cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. He's so dead. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness's statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how dare you explain that? There's a baby behind him! Why is there a baby behind him? That's the noise! Ah, man, this game's gonna be great. Well, what the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Noza? Sweat. Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be the indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm disarm. My eyes were... this fucking baby. Firmly fixed the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. Wait, was the antique guy on the floor because the baby went down? The last testimony in the court has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Leah Zenoza, did not see the defendant firing the gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Shots fired. Knark. Kiar. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, judged from one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. So the name of the game. But I definitely saw him. The University Cadet area was pointing a firearm directly at the victim's back. Oh, the baby's about to cry! But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hohe Era Kaban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place it in my bosom pocket in a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasate. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, I was the one military man and I puffed off my Hohe treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find? I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, there was no more. It was simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not. I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hawaii treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, precious Hohe Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony in the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on the trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Archie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger from the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it would become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Runosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Yeah. Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You'll be thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as cuticle glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. And so is the baby. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Mendoza family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name's Ido. It would seem that those straps are assigned to the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, teach it. Your father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. That's so cute. Look at him. Look at his hair. Oh, this is amazing. The true culprit. Even if what I saw was the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was a young lad in the black. Though that much myself I did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. So we need to prove the existence of a third person.
Yes!
Yeah, hi. That's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. Can I change the... No, I cannot. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at this table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
Objection. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. Prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. This is a photographic print at the scene of the crime, counsel. Indeed, on the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, only one place set. There is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. A bottle of carbonated water and steak lunch could be seen on the victim's table. Carbonated water, probably beer. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before us did the same thing. He maintained that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him.